Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Hope you all are doing great. So we will continue with our BNS classes series. Because it's a new legislation, there are very few materials which are available online, and a lot of you had requested for videos on it because you were not getting any idea on where to start from or what to study. So this is going to be a full series of videos on BNS. I am also planning to record videos on the two other new criminal legislations. So let's see how many videos we can make before the semester exams begin. So in today's class, we are going to study the historical background of BNS. We have already covered the extent and operation of BNS R because that is included in section 1. So there is a video on section 1 of BNS wherein I have explained in detail about what is the extent or what is the scope of BNS. So in today's video, we are going to focus on the historical background of BNS. So we all know that BNS is something that has replaced IPC, and it was enacted in 2023, and from 2024, 1st of July, it became applicable. So it becomes very important for us to know the historical background of this legislation. So let's look at the historical background, and this is also a part of your syllabus, which is Unit 1 of your BNS subject. So when we talk about BNS, right, it is a very important moment for India, right, in evolution of India's legal landscape, because this new legislation was introduced and it received President's assent on 25th of December 2023. What happens is that it has replaced IPC. Now we all know that IPC is applicable since the time of Britishers, right? And this particular legislation was amended multiple times. But then BNS has replaced it. Now, what is the difference between amendment and replacement? Amendment is within the same legislation, you make some changes, you either add something, you delete something, you modify something. That is nothing but amendment. So IPC was amended multiple times to make sure that it stays relevant with time. But then BNS has replaced this, as in IPC is no longer valid, no longer applicable, but it will be replaced by BNS. And whatever cases will be registered post 1st of July 2024, whatever FIRs will be lodged, everything will be under the provisions of BNS only. So BNS has replaced IPC, which was of 1860, a legal framework that had governed the criminal law of our country for over a century and a half. This was being replaced. And it was passed during British rules, right? It was drafted in India during British rules. So that particular legislation was being replaced. Its provisions, even though those were amended over times, multiple times those were amended, there were struggles because those provisions were not properly dealing with the complexities that we have faced in the recent times, right? There are certain new types of crimes that has evolved, or there are a lot of changes in our society. Those were not being properly addressed by IPC, and that is the reason there was a need in order to replace that legislation and bring BNS into application. So BNS represents a bold and comprehensive endeavor to modernize and reform India's criminal justice system. There was a need for reform in Indian criminal legal system because this legislation was applicable since like so many years, right? 1860. In 1860, it was drafted. And over the years, there has been a lot of things that has changed in the country. So there was a need that it is, like the legislation or the criminal law in the country is also modernized so that it can deal with the present day crimes, like internet, which has evolved over the years, right? And crimes on internet or crimes related to internet, crimes committed through internet, those are also properly addressed by BNS. So when we talk about BNS, it seeks to address the limitations and outdated aspect of IPC. So there, whatever limitations were there in dealing with the present day problems or present day offenses, those are being addressed by bringing this new legislation, which is BNS. So bringing it in line with the contemporary realities, whatever aspirations India is having, whatever problems or whatever new types of offenses are there, those are being properly dealt with under the provisions of BNS. This ambitious reform is driven by the recognition that the legal framework must evolve to effectively deal with or to effectively address the challenges that has emerged from the time of Britishers to till date, whatever new things has developed, we should be able to properly deal with it, or the criminal law of the country should be able to deal with it, and that is the reason why this new legislation was introduced. These challenges include advancement in technology, right? Such as cyber crimes and online frauds. Online frauds is such a big thing right now, right? After post-COVID, online frauds has increased like anything, and these fraudsters are like running just like a company, right? And every single day, every one of us might have received one or two phone calls like that, because online frauds are increasing like that, right? Government has started releasing advertisements on internet, on TV, right? To showcase that, okay, these are the different ways that online fraudsters use to, take money from your accounts, and you should be very careful. Banks are releasing such things, and you will get notifications or messages from platforms like banks or other things that, okay, we never ask for your OTPs, we never ask for your personal information, because these kind of frauds are increasing day by day. And to deal with these things, we had to make changes in the criminal law of the country. So to deal with these advancements in technology, increasing number of cyber crimes, online frauds, as well as the evolving societal norms related to gender, sexuality, and individual rights, it was very much needed that criminal law is reformed and criminal law is made relevant for the contemporary. So when we talk about BNS, it's not merely like a cosmetic update, but it is also a substantive reimagining of the criminal law in the country. It's not like whatever provisions were there, same thing, just we have made changes in the sections, but it is also that we have added whatever new things were required, wherever changes were required, everything was done in this new legislation. When we look at BNS, we see that it throws attention on the principles of justice. It seeks to balance the need for effective law enforcement with the problem of individual life, rights, and liberty. So there are certain types of offenses wherein punishment is not given. Like a person will not be sent to jail, but rather community service is imposed as a form of punishment, right? So BNS focuses that yes, we need laws in order to, reform the people who have done something wrong, but then also it recognizes individual rights and liberties. It does not want to punish the people as such, right? It's not Bharatiya Danda Sahita, but it is Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita. It wants to give justice rather than giving punishment, right? It focuses on providing justice. So this new code or BNS, it introduces fresh perspective on offenses, on punishment, and on procedural aspects, which aims to create a more just and equitable legal system. Once we start studying the different sections and different types of offenses, there you will get to know in detail how BNS is a bit different from IPC in terms of its perspective, that IPC wanted to give punishment to somebody who has done something wrong or who has done something contrary to the provisions of IPC, but then BNS tries to provide justice in every possible given situation. So this transformation is crucial to ensure that the criminal law framework remains relevant. It remains responsive and capable of delivering justice in the 21st century, considering the present day problems and present day challenges, or present day the type of offenses that we have seen, right? The type of things that we are dealing with. A lot of us are not that familiar with the online things, using the social media or using the online payment platforms and stuff like that. And the online scammers, they have taken advantage of that. So it was very much needed that criminal law addresses those kind of problems that the society is dealing with at present. So the BNS embodies India's commitment to upholding the rule of law and strengthening the foundations of its democracy. Whatever things was felt that, okay, fine, it was lacking in IPC, or these things was not clearly defined in IPC, those clarity are also been given, right? Wherever things were vague, there also clarity is brought by this new legislation, apart from including certain new type of offenses, including a new form of punishment and all of that. So this is about the historical background of BNS. Tomorrow we will discuss the features of BNS, what all new things are added, or what all are the main features of BNS. That will also give you much clarity on how this legislation is different from IPC, or in a way it is better than IPC. So this was all for today's class. I hope this historical background is clear to you. And this was just like a brief intro on it, but then I also have detailed notes for all the law and non-legal subjects. If you are interested to get that, you can drop a WhatsApp message to know more about it. So these notes include lectures as well as question and answers that gives you an idea on how to answer questions in law exam. So if you are interested to get that, you can always drop a WhatsApp message to know more about it. So that's all for today's class. I will see you again tomorrow and we will discuss the features of BNS. Bye for now.